Do you have absolutely no idea what you're doing in your fantasy draft? Well, if so, I have something that can counteract that, right? So, this was about 2 weeks ago. I'm going into my home league draft, right? And I'll admit, I was slacking a little bit on the research, you know what I'm saying, leading up to this draft. But what I did know is that my league loves then some running backs. Everybody's going RB, RB, RB. We're talking James Conner, early second round pick. We're talking Alvin Kamara, probably like top five. We're talking Nick Chubb, end of the first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that type of league, right? They love them some running backs. Jonathan Taylor, no brainer. No brainer 101. Disrespectful to think anything else. Najee Harris, come on, man. Give me the work. Old school bell cow running backs, right? It's that type of league, and I know this. And so every year, I usually end up with a whole lot of receivers because they fall to me, right? So I know this, and I know that I'm going to want a running back, at least a running back in the first 2 rounds. I want to do a little bit of anchor RB because I know I'm going to have a lot of running backs or a lot of receivers that are going to be values early, and then I'll just hammer running back late when everybody's taking receivers early, right? And I know this, but what I don't know is my pick number. So once I get my pick number, I get pick 9 in a 16-team league. It's time to start the strategy. If you have no clue what you're doing in your fantasy league, make a plan like this, right? The first 4 or 5 rounds exponentially more important than any other rounds, right? They make or break your league. So make a plan for those picks. Me, right? I'm at pick 9. I'm staring down the gun. Devontae Adams goes 5, so I know I'm going to be looking at probably one of these stud receivers, right? A Justin Jefferson or a Cooper Kupp, right? But Justin Jefferson goes 6, all right? And then I'm staring down. I'm not going to lie. I don't know exactly what it is, but I ended up having Cooper Kupp fall to me at 9, right? So I snag him. No brainer. Running backs are going all around me, but you got to stick to the plan, stick to the strategy, right? So I grabbed me Cooper Kupp. And on the wraparound, I see the ESPN ranks have Saquon Barkley at 28. And my next pick is like 22, so I know I can get Saquon if I want. So I'm staring down the barrel. I'm looking at the picks. I see Travis Kelsey and Saquon Barkley as my two top picks on the board. And I'm watching them. And it's 3 picks away. And James Conner goes, it's 2 picks away. Travis Kelsey goes, it's my pick. Saquon Barkley is there. I snag him. I have my anchor running back. And now it's time to hammer a receiver because everybody's taking running backs at this point. They're all seeing all the names fall. We're seeing a second round Travis Etienne. A second round. Actually, I can think of the names off the top of my head. But, like, you get the point, right? They're just going off the board over and over and over. And then I see names like David Montgomery, Antonio Gibson go before A.J. Brown. So when it comes back to my pick, I scoop me up A.J. Brown to go with Cooper Kupp and Saquon Barkley in the 16-man league. And then I'm seeing more of the shenanigans. I'm seeing some boo-boo running backs go. I'm watching Devin Singletary, right? I'm watching him go. I'm watching all the bummest bums go while the him receivers are still there. And in the 4th round, I see me Terry McLaurin. Devin Singletary was taken before him. David Montgomery was taken before him. Come on, man. I had to scoop him up. So now I have 3 receivers. I'm only starting 3 receivers in this league. It's an old ESPN league. Just two wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. So I have all the receivers that I can start, but all the running back value is still dried up. So I come around again, and I get a 5th round Allen Robinson. A 5th round Allen Robinson. And at that point, pretty much all the wide receiver value is gone because I scooped it all up, right? And all the running back value is gone. So I had to go Trey Lance. And then at that point, it was time to hammer the running backs, right? So I say all this to say, if you don't know what you're doing in your draft, have a strategy. I did this video for 2 things. One, just so I could talk through my home league draft because I love the roster bait, but two, because I think it's incredibly helpful. If you don't know what you're doing, just take a second. If you know your pick, it's more helpful. But look at the tendencies of your league, right? If it's a home league, they're probably gonna go robust RB. If it's a hipster league, and there might be some weirdos trying to go bully tight end, take George Kittle, Darren Waller, Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts, and Mark Andrews, and starting all of them, right? Just know what your league's about and take advantage of that and make a plan. If you don't know what you're doing in the later rounds, just draft based off archetype if you want, right? Like I went anchor RB, so I got Saquon, and then I made sure I got right everywhere else. I got me a serviceable quarterback. I got me a bunch of receivers, right? And then after all that's done, then hammer out the RBs and just plug it in as you go. There's a lot of different strategies, a lot of different archetypes that you can do, and I feel like that's a very good way to counter if you don't know what you're doing. It's just drafting based off an archetype in a fantasy football.